Hello, my friends. I am so excited to be sitting down to film a YouTube video. I am filming on a new camera. My husband got me a new one for Christmas. I'm really excited to see how it improves the quality of my content here on YouTube. So hopefully you can notice a difference in the quality of the video. And if you're wondering what we are going to be talking about today, we're gonna do my 2023 beauty favorites. I know, January is almost over. Some creators post these at like the end of December, but you know what? Better late than never. Anyways, I'm here now, so we're gonna just dive into it. I tried to be as concise as possible, and I tried to keep it to things that I tried that were new to me in 2023. So, without any further ado, let's dive in. First, let's talk about face primers. There were two that were total standout favorites for me this year. One of them, you can see, this is very well loved. This is from Beauty, and it is their Smooth Assist Smooth Solution Pore Refining Primer. It is silicone free, but it has like that silicone smoothing blurring texture. I like to apply this just under my eyes and like over my pores and then on my forehead. It is so good. Clearly you can tell I love this. My other favorite is from Tatcha. This is the Liquid Silk Canvas Primer, and this was my go-to like all summer long. I find that when it's winter and my skin is more dry, this doesn't always play nicely with it, but in the summer, spring, warmer months, this makes my skin look airbrushed and my foundation applies on top of it so smooth and seamlessly. The next product I'm going to talk about is like a multi-use, multi-purpose product. Sometimes I use it as a glowy primer. Sometimes I mix it into my foundation. Usually I'm mixing it in, and it's the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter. This was not new to me last year, but last year was the year I really started consistently mixing this in to whatever foundation I was using that day, and it makes the biggest difference in just like some added glow, a little extra luminosity, but it doesn't change the texture of whatever foundation you're applying it with. I have two shades. This is the shade 2.5 Fair. My other shade is shade 2, and I like to use that shade as like a liquid highlight. This shade is a little bit dark for me to use as a highlighter, but as a foundation mixer, it's absolutely perfect. I know everybody went nuts for the e.l.f. Halo Glow Liquid Filter, but I don't like it as much as I like this. This is undupable, in my opinion. I know lots of people out there are gonna disagree with that. For foundations, there were two clear winners this year. The first one is the Haus Labs. This has a really long name. Triclone Skin Tech Foundation. I picked this up during the fall VIB sale, I believe, and I had to try so many shades to get my right match. I ended up with 120 light warm if you are interested. I have light skin with warm yellow undertones. I've raved about it on my channel at length at this point, I think, but it's just so lightweight. It's hydrating. It looks like skin. The finish is so beautiful. It's natural, radiant. I love that there's so much skincare in here, and this just wears beautifully. Definitely my number one top pick for foundation. My second one is one that again was like on repeat all summer. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Foundation. This was kind of a rediscovery for me. I bought it when it first launched and loved it then, and then I kind of moved away from it for whatever reason. This year I fell back in love with it. I ended up getting another shade of it through BoxyCharm. This is the shade 5, and it's a little bit dark for me right now, but in the summer or when I have some self-tan on, it is such a good match. And this is so full coverage, and again, the texture is so lightweight that a little bit of this goes a long way. I use less than a pump of this when I use it because it just spreads out over the skin so beautifully. It wears really nice in the heat. And again, it has some nice skincare ingredients in it. Plus the bottle is just so pretty. Charlotte Tilbury's branding aesthetic is just in a league of its own. Next, let's talk about concealer. This is gonna come as a surprise to like no one, especially if you follow me on Instagram, but the Natasha Denona High Glam Concealer is the concealer to end all concealers, in my opinion. It is holy grail status. It's really like the only one I need. I wear the shade Y2. I am scraping the sides of the bottle here. This is, by all accounts, an empty, but I love it so much. I took out the stopper so I can like really get every last bit. I am definitely going to repurchase this ASAP because I cannot be without it. It is so creamy. It's easy to blend. It's hydrating and a little radiant. It's really crease resistant. A little bit goes a long way. As I'm aging, I'm finding I'm having to use less and less concealer under my eyes every year, but I still need the coverage. So I need my concealer to pack a punch in the coverage department, and it just wears so beautifully. Next, let's talk about powders. Again, two clear winners. I just cannot stop reaching for either of these. First up, we'll talk about the Kosas Cloud Set. I have this in the shade Airy, and it's very well loved. I am just working on finishing this last little bit in here. I cannot get over, again, how lightweight and non-powdery this powder is. It blurs like nothing else. There are different shades in this. So this is the lightest one, which I got to add a little bit of brightness under my eyes and like through the center of my face. And it's the least powderiest powder I have ever tried. It is incredible. This is my second one also. So, and I will repurchase it when I run out. And then for loose powder, the winner is the Laura Mercier Translucent Loose Ultra Blur. I mean, can you see how low I am? This was one that I could not put down. I got low on my Kosas Cloud Set, and so I started reaching for this really consistently this year. This blurs, again, like, I feel like it just blurs everything. I get so many compliments on my skin when I wear this. Not my makeup, but my skin. And I think that says a lot about a makeup product. And neither of these powders like suck the life out of my skin. They set my makeup, they blur out texture and lines, and they wear really beautifully throughout the day. So those were my very two clear winners for setting powders. For eye primer, these are both so well loved. The Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Amplifying Eye Primer. This again is a repurchase, and look at how low I am. This again is like basically empty. I love this, especially when I'm using like sparklier shades or when I want like a really metallic pop on my eyelid, because this has a little bit of a tacky finish and it really grips onto and grabs whatever eyeshadow I'm applying on top of it. And it's also like not so sticky that I can't blend mattes smoothly. It's just so good. From the drugstore, Milani eyeshadow primer. Look at this tube. It looks almost gone, but there is still like so much product in here. For the price, you really can't beat this. This is the primer that I am wearing on my eyes today. And it does the job. It helps my eyeshadow last. It helps amp up the pigmentation. It helps it to resist creasing. It checks all the boxes. It's so good. I also forgot to mention earlier on that I am wearing like most of my favorites on my face today. For my foundation, I've got the House Labs mixed with my Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Filter. I'm wearing the Natasha Denona Concealer, the Laura Mercier Powder. So yes, from there, let's move on. Eyeshadow palettes. This can be such a hard category for me to narrow down because eyeshadow palettes are one of my biggest weaknesses. I tried really hard to be really choosy. So let's get into it. These are not in any particular order, but first off, let's talk about the Natasha Denona My Dream palette. I know that like everyone and their dog probably put the Natasha Denona I Need a Nude palette in their favorites video for 2023. And I have that and I really, really like it. But this one won out for me. The color story, I just feel like is so much more versatile, and I'm drawn to so many more of these shades than the I Need a Nude palette. The I Need a Nude palette pulls quite cool on me because my undertones are so warm. And I love the depth and the dimension and all of the different looks that you can get with this palette. This is what I'm wearing on my eyes today, and I absolutely love this look. I've got this shade in my transition and crease, and then I put this shade on the outer third of my lid. This shade is my favorite in the palette, Thrill. That is all over my lid. And then I popped a little bit of this on my inner corner and then blended some of this into my crease. And I love the way it turned out. It's always a good eyeshadow day when Natasha Denona is involved. Next up, ooh, this is dirty. This is the Patrick Ta Major Dimension Volume 2 palette. Now, this did not come out last year. I think it came out the year before. But I didn't do a favorites video the year before, and it still is a favorite for me. I love the tones, the rosy tones in this, and the sparkle slash shimmer slash metallic shades in here are an absolute dream. This gold one is by far my favorite. Gold eyeshadow makes me weak in the knees. They are so incredibly sparkly, and the formula is magical in that it is so impactful and the sparkle stays where you put it and it doesn't fall out all over your cheeks. I love glitter on my eyes, not on my face or my cheeks. When I place glitter, I want it to stay where I placed it and not migrate down all over my face. And this is just beautiful. The mattes are also incredible. So easy to blend, so pigmented. It's just so good. Next up, I have two more palettes to talk about. The next one is the Lorac Fairy Tale Forest palette. This was one they launched for holiday a few years back, and the shades and the textures just, oh, they speak to my soul. This green eyeshadow is my favorite sparkly green eyeshadow that I've ever tried in my entire life. The rest of the shimmers in here are just so special and sparkly. Lorac has such a beautiful formula. I don't think they get near enough hype. They really are so, so good. Their prices are really reasonable. I also love how sleek their palettes are. They're thin, they're easy to store, they're not bulky. These are just such beautiful eyeshadows, so I had to mention that one. And then last but not least, this gem from Sydney Grace. This is the Unbreakable Bond palette in the light version. If you weren't aware, they make light and deep versions of all their eyeshadow palettes so that people with different skin tones can get the most that they can out of them. So this was such a beautiful launch. I am such a sucker for neutrals. You will never hear me say that neutrals are boring or that I'm over them, because they have my heart. And this palette is it's so beautiful. I love the Sydney Grace eyeshadow formula. Their shadows are so pigmented. They're really easy to blend. They're so smooth and buttery. Their metallics are so impactful. And this palette, like this entire palette is my favorite because of this shade. This is Haley's Haze. It is, I mean, just look at that. So stunning. And I love all of the other neutrals in here, the warmer tone shades. I'm not one to reach for like blues that often, but the formulas in here are really nice and easy to work with. And what more can I say? I feel like this palette speaks for itself. It's just so beautiful. And if you haven't tried Sydney Grace eyeshadows, let this be a sign to give them a try because they are incredible. Also, their customer service, they go above and beyond. Staying with eyes, let's talk about mascaras. I have found so many good mascaras. I need to focus more on the drugstore because all of my favorites are higher end or like Sephora picks. But the first one, I don't have the tube, but I'll put up a picture, the Rare Beauty mascara. That one has gotten so much hype and for good reason. It volumizes beautifully. The formula is lovely. It's easy to remove. It doesn't smudge all over my face. I wear mascara on my lower lashes and they are quite long, so I apply it with a really light hand and I try not to get it like all the way down because my lower eyelashes are quite long and it can look scary. But some mascaras do, even when I'm applying the smallest amount, sometimes they will still smudge under my eyes, and I don't notice that with the Rare Beauty. I also really love the size and shape of the brush. It's just a really good one. The next one that we'll talk about is from Tower 28 Beauty. This is their Make Waves mascara. I just recently finished this one up. I just feel like the formula has gotten dry. You can see it has a curved brush and it has like the plasticky silicone bristles, which I normally don't love, but these ones are softer so it doesn't feel like you're like stabbing or poking at your lash line. This mascara builds so beautifully. You can go from like a soft, hardly barely there mascara look to like bam, volume, fluttery, full lashes in just a few coats. I love this. Next up is the Lawless One and Done mascara. This is another one that has a more silicone type wand. The brush is straight and then it kind of has like the ball on top so you can go in and get in your inner corners. This, technically you are only supposed to apply one coat, but I love a dramatic lash, so I go in with two. But this, if I'm in a hurry, I can get away with one and feel like I have an adequate amount of mascara on. The way this builds is just chef's kiss perfection. And then this one was a new to me formula that I tried this year. This was a new launch that came in an Ipsy bag. And this is from Anastasia Beverly Hills, and this is their Lash Sculpt mascara. Here is what the wand looks like. Just kind of a standard bristly wand. This gives such nice volume, definition, curl, wears beautifully. This was a love from the start. I would happily repurchase any of these. I just have a big mascara backstock stash that I need to work through. So those were my favorites from the year. Now let's talk eyeliner. I have gotten so into eyeliner in recent years. I love doing a winged liner with a gel pencil. That is my comfort zone, and I love the way it looks, and it's got to be dark brown. I can do black sometimes, but for my day-to-day, it is dark brown. So here is my first favorite. I have gone through so many of these, I can't even tell you. This is from Pixie Beauty, and this is the shade Black Cocoa, and this is the formula is called Endless Silky Eye Pens. These have been around for a while. They really do glide on so silky smooth. They set, and I did a rub test like on one of the very first reels I ever made. These set and they stay in place until you remove them. Love them. The next one is another one that I've been loving for so long, and it's from Persona Cosmetics. This, if you can see the label here, this is Plum. My absolute favorite is the brown one, but Plum is really pretty too. This is, again, just so creamy, so silky smooth. It gives you some time to work with it, and then it sets, and it is budge proof. And this is a higher end brand. You can find them at Ulta. I believe they're only online. And what Pixie is a drugstore brand. You can find them at Target and Ulta as well. And these are within, like, I think $2 of each other in price. So they're both so good. The last one that I have to mention is one that I discovered this year. It was a new launch from Essence, and it is their Stay and Play Gel Eyeliner. I had my eye on this when I was perusing the, what's new at Ulta page. And then Tati from Glam Life Guru tested them out and was raving. So I was like, yep, I need to try this. These are $4.99 before any sales or coupons. It claims to be waterproof and long lasting, and I feel like it is. I haven't like hardcore tested the waterproof claim, but I have allergies and sometimes my eyes water, and all three of these eyeliners stand up really well to that. If it's like really bad, sometimes my wing will kind of fade or come off in a spot right there at the corner of my eye, but other than that, these are all fantastic. Let's talk about bronzer. I love bronzer so much. We're in the dead of winter right now, and I have been trying not to be as heavy-handed with my bronzer because I just feel like it looks kind of weird to be like super warm and bronzed up in the dead of winter and it's super gray outside. But I'm still, I use bronzer all year long. I can't help myself. My first favorite is from Charlotte Tilbury. This is her Beautiful Skin bronzer. This is the fair one. It is, I don't know if you can tell, but I have a serious dent going on in the pan here. And this is the bronzer that I'm wearing today. It blends into the skin with seriously no effort. The shade looks so natural. It's not too orange. It's not too much. It wears beautifully. It doesn't stay like sticky and tacky on the skin. This is just perfection. I got really into using my bronzer sticks this year, and ColourPop launched their own version of bronzer sticks. They are so good. These are my three favorite shades. The one that I've been reaching for the most lately in the winter is Laguna Beach. I believe this is the lightest one, and it's also the most neutral. The entire shade range was formulated to have 0 orange undertones, which I definitely love and appreciate. These just, they're so easy to blend. They glide onto the skin like butter, and you can let it sit for a minute. It's not like you have to do like one part of your face, blend it in, move on to the next part. You can put this everywhere you want, and you still have plenty of time to blend it in. It's just such a beautiful formula, and like, again, for the price, I don't think you can beat these. Next up, this was not a new to me product in 2023, but I have to mention it because it is that good. This is the Patrick Ta Cream Contour and Bronzer Duo. I have this in the medium shade. This is She's Sculpted. I love that he provides these little plastic windows to keep the powder from getting into the cream. And look at that dent that I have going on. I'm honestly surprised I have not hit pan on this. This is like special occasion or glam Saturday, or just it's a regular day and I want my makeup to look amazing and I want my skin to look chiseled and sculpted and bronzed. I mean, I cannot say enough good things about this duo. It's so good. Now let's talk about blush. Blush it's having a moment, and I am really pleased about that. I love blush. The first one that I will talk about is from Patrick Ta. Again, we're staying on the Patrick Ta train. All of his blush duos are incredible. I have a couple singles and I have a couple of his blush palettes that he did for holiday. This shade is absolutely my favorite. This is She's Blushing, and it is just so pretty. The blush has just the slightest bit of shimmer in it, and it is so gorgeous. I feel like it goes with a lot of different looks. It pairs really nicely with his Major Dimension Volume 2 eyeshadow palette, and when you layer the powder with the cream, it gives you insanely good lasting power. I love his method of applying just a little bit of the cream on top of the powder because it gives your skin that natural sheen and makes it look like the makeup is just coming from underneath your skin. It's so beautiful. Next up, these blushes are insanely popular, but for good reason. They deserve the hype. The Rare Beauty liquid blushes. I have some more shades. This isn't my entire collection, but these are the full sizes that I have. And the two that like really got so much love for me this year are Hope, which is described as a nude mauve, and Virtue, which I believe is like a muted peach, but I can't remember exactly the website description. This was a new launch this last year, I believe in 2023. And this one was newer, like after the original launch, I believe. But I could not stop reaching for these. They're both in the dewy finish, which is my preferred finish. You need just a tiny dot. They're really easy to blend out on the skin and they last so well. This one is Joy, and this I reach for a ton in the summer. It looks so good with a red lip and like a warm bronzy eye. Oh, so good. They also mix beautifully with a liquid highlighter to make like a glowy blush. I also had to mention from the drugstore, these blushes got me excited about drugstore blush again, and these are from Essence, and they launched a line of pure nude baked blushes. This is the shade, I'm gonna say it wrong, Goldie Cassis, I think. And it looks kind of crazy in the pan, but on my skin, it pulls like a warm pink. It's really pretty. I love the soft, subtle glow that these give the skin. I actually have another shade on the way. They're really reminiscent of Hourglass blushes in my opinion, and also the Milani baked blushes, which are like holy grail status from the drugstore. The last blushes that I will mention are the Bare Minerals bronzers. These were formulated to be like a mix of blush and bronzer to give you like a blushy glow, but also with a wash of warm bronzy color. They have the most gorgeous sheen to them. They are so silky smooth. For highlighters, this is one of my favorite makeup categories. My favorites from this last year are Rare Beauty. This is the shade Exhilarate. If you've watched my previous videos, you know my son dropped my first one and it shattered. And because I love this so much, I had to buy a new one. Luckily, I was able to snag it during the Sephora sale. But this just, it gives the most intense, beaming, I can see you from space glow. It does have some shimmer in it, but it's like the kind of shimmer that you only, like I only really notice it when I'm like outside and it's a sunny day. In indoor lighting, I don't really notice it on my cheekbones. I love a bright, bold highlight, and this delivers. They're also so silky smooth and really lightweight, so it just melts into your skin. It doesn't look like you have like powdery, chalky highlighter sitting on top of your skin. This is also stunning in the inner corner. I love it so much. And the packaging is super fun. My next favorite is from Charlotte Tilbury. These are the world famous Hollywood Beauty Light Wands. I have mine in the shade Spotlight. This one is almost empty. I'm like squeezing the last little bits out of it. I already have a backup. I mean, what can I say about this? I don't know if my words will do it justice. It is so beautiful on the skin. It is brightening. It is dewy. It melts right in. with whatever I'm applying it on top of. I just put a dot on my cheek and tap it in with my fingers and I'm good to go, glowing all day long. I also will take a brush and like pick up a little bit and put it on my brow bone. It works beautifully for that. My last highlighter that we'll talk about is from Hourglass. I have raved about these ever since I've got them. I have two. My favorite shade is Champagne Flash. That is this one. I mean, this is just the easiest cream highlighter of life. My favorite way to apply it is I'll just take a beauty blender and I'll pick some up and I'll dab it on my cheekbones. And it just blends right in. So quick, so effortless. And it doesn't have like a sticky tacky finish. It just melts into the skin and leaves the most beautiful glow behind. It lasts all day. This is another one that's great on the inner corner and brow bone as well. For setting spray, we have one winner. It is the Caliray Surf Proof Setting Spray. It claims to be clean, hydrating, and long wear. The mist on this is so fine, and that is a big deal for me. I need a nice, fine, cloud-like mist that isn't going to leave like big droplets on my face. And this is just so good for long wearing makeup. It also adds some hydration to the skin. It doesn't feel tight. It doesn't dry out my skin. It just like melts everything together. It sets it all in place. It doesn't have like crazy fragrance. I really appreciate that there's clean ingredients. And I believe you can also get refills of this on the Caliray website, so you don't have to buy like the whole component again. Caliray is a brand that I have really been enjoying. Right, now let's talk about lip liners. I can't believe there was a time in my life where I didn't use lip liner, because now it is like non-negotiable for me. I love lip liners so much. I think we all know that ColourPop lip liners have my full heart. I use one almost every single day. And this shade is my absolute favorite lately. This is Clarice. This was limited edition from the the Rudolph collab they did for Christmas. They brought it back this last year, which was so exciting for me. I was able to get a backup. But it is just the prettiest pinky nude lip liner. I feel like it goes with everything. It's almost like a My Lips But Better shade. And it's so good. And ColourPop liners are so creamy and silky. You do not have to break the bank to get an amazing lip liner. My other one, well, no, I have two more to mention. Look at how well loved this is. This is Natasha Denona. I Need a Nude in the shade Natasha. I think this one has been discontinued because she did her My Dream collection and the lip liner from there is named Natasha. But the lipsticks are different. The Natasha Denona, or the Natasha I Need a Nude lipstick and the Natasha My Dream lipstick, they're different shades. So I have a feeling the lip liner might be different too, and I'm really sad because clearly I love this. The formula is so nice. It lasts so well. It hangs on. It's creamy. It glides on really nicely. It's just so good. And then the last ones that I have to mention are the Lawless Forget the Filler Definer liners. These are my two favorite shades. Nude Honey is my absolute favorite. I feel like it goes with everything. And then Pink Slip. So not only are these shades gorgeous, but they are without a doubt the creamiest sharpenable wooden pencil lip liners that I have ever tried. Again, they last nicely, like not forever, but they last really well. And because they're so creamy, reapplying them is not a problem. For lipsticks, this is another category that I absolutely adore. So my favorite lipstick of 2023 was a new launch, and again, it is from Lawless Beauty. These are the Forget the Filler Satin Creme lipsticks, and I pulled all of my favorite shades. This shade range is beautiful. There are so many gorgeous nudes. I think, okay, top two if I had to, like somebody was forcing me. This is Fawn. It is a gorgeous Warm Nude, and Wedding Day. This is a more pinkier, a little cooler toned. I love the satiny finish. They also have really nice ingredients that are going to help hydrate and plump the lips. They don't have like a crazy intense like cooling sensation, but there's a little bit of one. All right, I know I said I narrowed it down to just one line of lipsticks, but I have to give an honorable mention to the Too Faced Cocoa Bold lipsticks. These I have, look at how cute the shade name stickers are. I have Buttercream and Chocolate Strawberry, and they smell like white chocolate raspberry mousse, and just look at these shades. They're beautiful. They have that lovely like satin cream finish. If you can't tell, satin lipsticks are my favorite. I love a little hydrating sheen to the lip. It just looks, it makes them look healthy, juicy, and I'm here for it. So let's move on to the next category. Lip gloss. The first ones I will talk about are from Give Beauty. These are the Bubble Pop Electric High Performance Lip Glosses. My absolute favorite holy grail shade is Sweet Tooth. It is just a gorgeous pale peachy pink nude. It makes such a gorgeous lip topper, or again, like just on its own with a lip liner. It's beautiful. These have a thicker texture, but not like in a goopy way, in like a balmy, nourishing, I'm gonna hang on to your lips for hours on end kind of way, and I love it. Also, they smell like cotton candy, and I can't get enough of them. This is the shade that I'm actually wearing today. It's called Candy, and it's a really pretty, like cooler, kind of lilac-y mauve shade. I have 4 shades, and I honestly love them all. The other ones that I'm mentioning, I don't know, I can't fit them all in one hand. But the Lawless Forget the Filler, oh, these have a really long name, Lip Plumping Line Smoothing Gloss. I've gone into full-on collector mode with these, you guys. They are so beautiful. The best way to describe these is they're like a cross between the Fenty Gloss Bombs and the Buxom lip glosses. That they're thick like the Fenty glosses, but they have a little bit of that cooling tingle like the Buxom. And because of that thick texture, they just glide over all your lip lines, and they coat your lips in this nourishing, glossy, glass-looking shine. It makes your lips look incredible. I love all the shades that I have. They're all so stunning. They smell like, a couple of them have their own smell. Like I just got the Cherry Vanilla. That one has its own, and then the Juicy Watermelon, that's the one I just sniffed, has its own. This smells like watermelon bubblegum. It's so good. But even just the regular ones have just a nice, like, fruity smell. I love the scents that Lawless uses, and seriously, like, I can't stop buying these. They are so good. And again, they have that maxi lip ingredient that is going to help your lips look plumper and smoother over time. I feel like lip oils got really big this year as well. Here are my 2 favorites. I have several of each brand. First off, we'll talk about In Beauty Project. To say I'm obsessed with these, I feel like is an understatement, because I love them so much. And all of the shades not only smell like their names, they taste like their names. So like, don't eat these, but if like a little bit gets in your mouth, they taste so good. I love the large plush applicator. They're nourishing, they are hydrating. Your lips feel better after wearing these. And then Jouer came on the scene with their tinted hydrating lip oils. Now, I'm really mad because there's a fourth one, and that one is actually my favorite. It is a light pink and the shade is Belle. I put it in my bag and now I can't find it. But these are incredible. My two favorite shades are Belle and then this peachier one. The tint on these is just perfection. I love the size of the applicator. They are just the perfect, like, summertime or easy everyday, no fuss, throw on a lip liner, throw on this sheer tinted lip oil, and you're good to go. They're really easy to reapply on the go. I don't think they have an added fragrance. I can't really smell anything. We are almost to the end, my friends. This last year, and probably the year before too, I really got into eye toppers, like sparkly eye toppers, and my absolute favorites from 2023 are from Give Beauty. These are the Icy and Sparkle Multi-Dimensional Eye Pigment. I have all three shades and they are so stunning. You can apply these different ways. You can apply them like full on pigment with your finger, or my favorite way is to use like a flatter brush and apply it on top of another shadow just to add some glimmer and dimension and sparkle. Like in the past, I have kind of stayed away from loose pigments like these because of the potential for mess. But these are worth it. And also, like, they don't get everywhere when I'm applying them. So as long as I'm careful, the mess is pretty minimal. Like, they stick together nicely. It stays where you put it nicely. They are just so good. And Give Beauty in general is a brand that I like keep continually being impressed by. And it's one that I feel like definitely deserves some more love online, at least from things that I see. Then as far as single shadows go, that's another category I've really gotten into in this last year. And these were latecomers. Like, I got these late 2023, but these solo shadows from Merit, these are a cream to powder matte eyeshadow. And when I tell you that these are the most effortless cream shadows I have ever used, I am not kidding. You can apply it and blend it with just your finger. Like, your eyeshadow's on, you're good to go. My favorite way to use these, I have the shades Vachetta and Mid-Century. My favorite way to use these is by applying it on the lid, blending it into the crease transition area, and then taking a sparkly shadow like the Give Beauty or a Bodyography glitter pigment or Hourglass Scattered Light or ColourPop Super Shock and putting that all over the lid. It is beautiful. I relied on that combination. Like, that combination got me through the holiday season because I wanted to wear makeup and I wanted to feel festive and sparkly, but I didn't necessarily have the time to sit down and do like a full-blown 5-6 different shades of eyeshadow on my eye. These are just incredible. They set down to a powder finish. They don't crease unless they can if you apply like too much. I also like to skip eye primer when I use these because the lasting power is just so good and they apply perfectly over bare skin. So I had to give these a mention even though they came in late. I feel like I've been reaching for them like pretty much nonstop, and also for travel, they're so good. Okay, my friends, we are going to leave it there. Hopefully you're still here with me. Let me know if we have any of the same favorites. That's always fun. I love to know what you guys are loving. And if we didn't have any of the same, let me know a few of your favorites from last year. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. I would love to have you join me here. I promise I'm going to make a more concerted effort to upload more consistently this year. Especially, I have my new camera. I'm feeling all excited and super motivated to be more consistent with this channel. So Hopefully I will see you guys again very soon, and thank you for spending some time with me. Bye!